All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig in a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video. As today we come to you on a beautiful day right before minicamp, phase 3 with some Niner news. And of course the Krug Show brought to you by Pig in a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. And they do run out, so get there early, get some brisket chili. All right, story of the day. Brandon Aiyuk issued an arrest warrant, or I should say the Santa Clara County DA's office has issued an arrest warrant for Brandon Aiyuk for a misdemeanor charge of tied to speeding. This is a report, according to a report in the New York Post. I mean, bottom line on this is if you're stupid enough to film yourself committing a crime, you deserve what you get. I mean, it's really as simple as that. It's tied to him speeding past Levi's Stadium, whatever, how fast he was going. Don't endanger other people in society because you got some anger issue or you're trying to have a thrill ride. But guess what? If you film it and put it on social media, you're probably going to pay a price. It's a stupid, idiotic thing to do. He did it. Now he's paying the price. So that's the latest on Brandon Aiyuk. He's also put out a thing saying, you know, he's unfollowed everybody except for the Commanders, Jaden Daniels, and his wife. He'll soon be in Washington, and we wish him luck. But that's the latest on the fall of Brandon Aiyuk. Now they've issued an arrest warrant, Santa Clara County DA, for misdemeanor charge tied to speeding in front of this stadium. All right, let's talk about some other things that actually do matter and are we actually care about. The 49ers will practice today. That's right. OTAs, I believe phase 3, 12:30, they'll be on the practice field. We're going to talk to Raheem Morris after practice. And I'm really looking forward to talking to Raheem Morris. Why? Because one, he's always got something interesting to say. And two, you know, yesterday I had a chance to talk to a lot of his defensive coaches, and they were really excited about the young defenders. Give you a couple takeaways. I talked to Ray Brown, the secondary coach. He had a lot of great things to say about Ephesians Prysock and Jacob Robinson. Robinson, the second-year corner out of BYU, is really smart, and he's got 4.3 speed. And Prysock also is big and fast. And Ray Brown talked about how smart of a player Prysock is. So really eager to see Prysock and Robinson on the field. Then I had a chance to talk to KJ Wright, and he was really excited about Jaden Duggar. Said that he saw him the first time. He wanted him on the team, and he was like, "Oh wow, look at this kid." You know, he's athletic and he's smart and he's fast, and he saw some of himself in Jaden Duggar. I mean, let's make no mistake about this. After talking to the Niners assistant coaches yesterday, the Niners assistant coaches did the draft. I mean, they have scouts, they have other people, but Forster got the O-lineman he wanted. Kasarik got the D-lineman he wanted. Ray Brown got the young players he wanted. KJ Wright got the linebackers he wanted. I mean, that's how this thing works. That's how, at least over here with the 49ers. Not every team in football, but the Niners give their assistant coaches a lot of responsibility and a lot of respect as far as personnel evaluation goes. So we'll find out, but you don't have to wonder, I wonder why they drafted Jaden Duggar. They drafted Jaden Duggar because KJ Wright wanted them to draft Jaden Duggar. As far as Nick Martin, I asked KJ about Nick Martin, and he thinks that Nick Martin has obviously got to make his name on special teams. But, this is a huge camp for Nick Martin. They got to figure out this. They draft this guy in the 3rd round. They got to figure out a way to get this guy on the field. And I got to think that Raheem Morris, with all of his 5-man fronts and some of the creativity that he's shown, the ability to work with a lot of different kinds of players in his previous stops, that he's going to be able to figure out a way to get Nick Martin and his incredible athleticism on the football field. So that was interesting. And then we talked to Kasarik, and Kasarik was fired up about Romello Height, compared him to Nick Bosa as far as how advanced he is compared to most rookies. He considers him very advanced. Also really complimented Kamara, Bryson Eason, James Thompson, and you could see that they really liked their undrafted D linemen, and after working them out, they like him even more. So Chris is a big fan of the Niners young defensive linemen, which is great to hear, and means that the cut down is going to the competition, I should say, at the defensive line spots this summer is going to be intense. All right, 49er preseason schedule is out. August 13th, they'll play at 6 o'clock here at Levi's against Robert Saleh's Tennessee Titans. And then August 20th, they will play at 7 o'clock at SoFi against Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers. And then August 27th, they will play at 5 o'clock in Vegas at Allegiant Stadium there on the Strip against the Las Vegas Raiders. So that is the preseason schedule. Yesterday, the Niners made a move. They picked up Ashton Davis and they signed him to a one-year deal. And to create room, they cut the running back Jamar Jefferson, the former Oregon State star. Davis is interesting in that he's got good size. He's always been a great athlete. Smart player, athletic player. He's had some injuries, but is healthy now. He's got good size. We're talking about a player who's most likely going to be a backup and a special teamer. So as a backup special teamer, I think Brant Boyer's going to be really happy with him, and I think they're going to get a solid player. Can he compete with Jair Brown, Malik Mustafa, Marquise Siegel to start? I guess we'll find out this summer. I have my doubts on that front. But Ashton Davis, the newest 49er, and we'll take a look at him today. Hopefully we'll have a little video later today. Bleacher Report threw out a trade idea. That sounds interesting. A lot of Niner fans are like, what can the Niners do to react to Myles Garrett going to the Rams? Well, it's just not like the Niners to do anything like that. But Bleacher Report suggests this trade, that the Niners should trade with the Raiders for Max Crosby, with the Niners getting Crosby, of course, and the Raiders getting the Niners' first and second round pick in next year's draft and third round pick in the 28 draft. Okay, couple quick thoughts. One, I just think Mark Davis never wants a deal with the Niners. I think we know that from the Khalil Mack situation a few years ago when John Lynch was really hot to trot on getting Khalil Mack, and the Raiders were like, no. Would rather trade him to the Bears and didn't even take the Niners' calls, didn't want to listen to their offers. I mean, there's a rivalry there. Now, I don't know if Mark Davis is going to have a lot of bidders for Max Crosby or not. I don't know if they're going to trade Crosby or not. I will say this Bleacher Report trade is hardly to me it seems very fair. I mean, Crosby's an impact edge rusher of note. And to get him for a first and a second in next year's draft and a third in the draft after, to me that seems like a very fair price. I know Raider fans might say, hey, that's a little low. We want something more than that. You got to remember this. 49ers are likely to get a draft pick for Mac Jones, a third-round draft pick when Mac Jones walks away. And they're really good at getting compensatory selections. So the Niners probably would be able to replace that third-round pick, that 2028 third-round pick. So at the end of the day, you're really moving Crosby for a first and a second. Your track record in the first round is so poor that how could you not go for that? Now, I'd want to do a really intense physical, have my doctors do an intense physical on Max Crosby because, you got to figure out is he damaged goods? Is his body broken? Is he, does he have some kind of malady that's going to shorten his career? You're going to pay him a lot of money, and that you're giving away 3 premium draft picks to get him. I think the draft pick compensation, to be honest, would be fair there. But my first thought is Mark Davis is going to flip you the bird and say, get out of here because he ain't trading Max Crosby to the Niners. I almost get a feeling that Mark would rather lose his way than win and in any way aid the 49ers along the way. So I would do that deal. I can't picture that deal's out there for the Niners. But as I said, if I'm from the 49er perspective, I would do the trade. I think it's fair. But I would want my doctors to give me the thumbs up on Crosby. And as far as the Raiders are concerned, I think that's probably a pretty good haul for a player that they already tried to trade once. But I don't think the Raiders are going to want to help the Niners. I mean, unless I see otherwise, that's kind of a long-standing opinion. CBS Sports had an interesting article out suggesting that Debo Samuel and Joey Bosa, that the best landing spots for these guys is here with the 49ers. And I get it. I understand. I mean, the reasoning is sound. I mean, with Debo, they're looking at CMC and they're saying, hey, CMC had 413 touches last year, and that cannot, I mean, you got to get some help for CMC. But that's what Jordan James is for. That's what Kalen Black's for. That's what all these young receivers are for. The Debo thing, I mean, I think, yeah, could he help you as a kick returner? Sure. But, I mean, don't you want to take a look at Cowing? Don't you want to take a look at Watkins? Did you sign Christian Kirk? You've committed in other areas. I think Debo's a guy that you would call if you had an injury or if you get in camp and you look up and you're like, shit, none of these guys can freaking do it. Or they're all going to fumble or whatever. You have no confidence in your younger guys. But I don't think I would run to Debo in May or early June. To me, he's more of like, hey, let's see how things go this summer. And if he keeps himself in good shape and you don't like what you're looking at in your camp, then he's only a phone call away. As far as Joey Bosa, the Niners absolutely should sign, and they should sign Leonard Floyd as well. The Niners had 20 sacks last year. How many times do we have to say that? 20. 2-0. You're getting Bosa back, but he's coming off his third ACL. You're getting McHale back, but he had 1 sack. You added Romello Height, but he's a 238-pound, linebacker. And you're going to use some 5-man fronts, but I mean, he's not an every down defensive end in a 4-3. So you need more defensive ends. You need more pass rush for sure. Joey Bosa led the NFL last year with 5 forced fumbles. He was Pro Football Focus's 7th highest graded edge defender in the entire league. Don't tell me that he's old and he can't play. He had 12 hits on the quarterback. The Niners leader was Cleve Farrell. He had 6. He had double the hits on the quarterback as the Niners leader last year. So Joey Bosa makes lots of sense. Obviously, you got to figure out the money, but you've got so much money that you're rolling over, and this makes so much sense, and the need is so severe. You got young DBs, you've got a really deep defensive tackle room, but your edge rusher room is a little thin. And to me, I would bring in Joey Bosa and Leonard Floyd. Leonard Floyd has played under Raheem Morrison with the Rams, with the Falcons. He knows Raheem's defense. He's also a guy that I would pick up a little bit later, but I would definitely go for Joey Bosa going into camp. And then once I'm in camp, I think I would look at, do I need Debo? If so, call him. Do I need Leonard Floyd? If so, call him. But Joey Bosa, I think, would make a lot of sense. By the way, a lot of doom and gloom after Myles Garrett went to the Rams, and I get it. Everybody's upset. Oh, my God, And it's like, guess what? The Chiefs were the team that was favored last year at this time. The favorite doesn't always win. Yeah, the Rams are the favorite. The Rams are the favorite. But ESPN today came out with their best chances of winning the Super Bowl. The Rams are number 1. The Bills are number 2. The Ravens are number 3. The Seahawks are number 4. And guess who checks in at number 5? The 49ers. So, it's not like the way people have talked about it, it's like, don't go to camp. Phone it in. Season's done. It's all for naught. They're cooked. I think Raj said to me, they're cooked. It's like, okay, you really believe they're cooked? Because I don't. He's a great football player. Everybody knows he's a great football player. And a great Rams team just got even greater. But in my opinion, they had a very good defensive end. Now they got a great defensive end. They were really good. Now they're really, really good. I still think the 49ers have a shot this year. And I'm not saying that because I don't want to quit on the season. I actually believe it. I think they really do have a shot. And I think once people kind of get to see how all these teams look on the field, I think they'll be a little bit more, well-grounded opinions instead of just like, they're done, they're cooked, they're finished. We should tell you the Krug Show is presented by Prize Picks, America's #1 sports picks app. Prize Picks is super simple. You just pick more or less on player stats or game outcomes. Build your lineup. It's available in most states, including California. If you haven't checked it out yet, use code HMA. When you play $5, you'll get $50 in lineups instantly. Also, thank you to Novato Chevrolet. family-owned dealership for over 50 years. Go see David Corral. Voted top car dealership by Carfax. Friendly staff, huge selection, Bay Area's EV headquarters. Go see my guy David Corral at Novato Chevrolet. And also thank you to Alomar Marina. Voted Sacramento's best lunch spot. Float while you dine on the Sacramento River. They're at 5999 Garden Highway. Website is alomarmarina.net. Check them out. Drive up with your boat. Have a little breakfast, a little lunch. Tell them Krug sent you. Brandon and all the good people there. The shrimp tacos, the bomb at the Alomar. All right, that's going to do it for us. We're going to hit the media room for a few minutes, and then we're going to go out to practice, and we'll do videos later today, telling you what we see, and it's on. Have a great day. It's a beautiful day here in Santa Clara. 75 degrees, sun shining, light breeze, perfect day. Go Niners. Thanks for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.